Over there?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. Welcome to our January 6, 2026 annual reorganization meeting of the Board of Trustees. If you please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we have a lot on the agenda tonight. We'll get right into it. First items we have are oath of office, Mayor Nathan Mitchell, oath of office, Trustee David Cave, Trustee Michael Wright, oath of office, Judge Mark R. Ruby, and we're going to do all of these oaths at the end. So I'm going to go through all the appointments, and then we'll all stand together and speak our oaths. So the next item is the appointment of Mark Bloomquist, trustee, to fill the unexpired term of myself, Nathan Mitchell, and appointment of Mark Bloomquist as deputy mayor for 2026. Next is the appointment of Jeff Gordon, trustee, to fulfill the unexpired term of Christine McAndrews, and appointment of village clerk treasurer Jennifer Georgie Mayer to a 2-year term, appointment of deputy village clerk Michelle Marzo to a 1-year term, and designation of our trustee liaisons to the village departments. Deputy Mayor Bloomquist is going to be liaison to the police department and fire department this year. Trustee Gordon is going to be liaison to the building department, the justice court, and land use boards. Trustee McCabe is going to be liaison to the DPW and the clerk's office, and Trustee Wright is going to be liaison to our parks and our community center. Next is appointment of village attorney Dennis Michaels. Dennis has worked with us in the past, and we're glad to have him back. Appointment of assistant village attorney James Birnbaum. Appointment of the associate village justice Heidi Spitzer. Appointment of village assessor consultant Brian King, he's our tax assessor. Appointment of village engineer Bart Roby. Appointment of registrar of vital statistics Jennifer Georgie Meyer. Appointment of deputy registrar of vital statistics Michelle Marzo. And now appointment of members of the planning board. We have Kim Stifel for a 5-year term. Appointment of alternates to the planning board. We have Peter Metzler and Frank Bukowski, both 1-year terms. Appointment of the chair of the planning board, we have David Levy, 1-year term. And appointment of members of the zoning board of appeals, Molly Queen for a 5-year term. Appointment of alternates to the zoning board of appeals, Rochelle Spooner and Ira White, both 1-year terms. Appointment of the chair of the zoning board of appeals, Usha Wright, for a 1-year term. Appointment of our floodplain manager, Charlie Schwab. Appointment of our harbor master, Dan Gottlieb. Appointment of the chair of the Parks Commission, Dan Sherman. And also we have listed here a recommendation of members and annual reports to the board, but we'll wait until after the oaths to carry that out. Appointment of members of the Waterfront Resiliency Commission. We have Daniel Goslin, Sylvia Welch, Rod Johnson, Klaus Jacob, and Mark Silverstein. And appointment of the chair of the Waterfront Resiliency Commission will be myself, Nathan Mitchell. Our designation of official newspaper is the Journal News and the Rockland County Times. Our designation of official depositories are M&T Bank, NY Class, and Connect One Bank. Designation of legal posting locations, Village of Piermont, Paramount Village Hall out front, Canzona's Market, the railroad station, the land bank office, the Piermont Post Office, M&T Bank, Elmore Stroud Skating Pond, and the official village website and official village Facebook page. Next we have the designation of the schedule of the Board of Trustees meetings. So we'll be going back to having 2 Board of Trustee meetings each month, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. at Village Hall. And then the 32nd item is to set the inventory of fee in low parking spots. So I will ask the board at this point, our current inventory of fee in low parking spots stands at 86, and I would like to reduce that inventory to a total number of 60 spots that will need to be complied with by the beginning of our next fiscal year in June. Do I have any objection to reducing the inventory to 60? Okay, I have an objection. Do I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. So that would be 4. And now, annual resolutions. Annual review and adoption of village policies. We have our procurement policy, our workplace violence policy, our sexual harassment and diversity training policies, our disaster preparedness emergency policy, our bloodborne pathogens policy, our employee layoff staff reduction procedure, our HAZCOM policy, our drug-free workplace policy and procedure, our lifting policy, our social media policy, our code of investment policy, our 5-year capital plan, our credit card policy, our employee handbook, our vehicle use policy, seatbelt policy, use of cellular phone, village computer and network usage policies. And then finally, we have the annual review of the village fines and fees, which we did review at the December meeting. And we had one stipulation to remove adding a new fee for renting Village Hall, but other than that, all was agreed upon. So at this point, I'd like to ask everyone who has been appointed or elected to a position with the village to stand and raise their right hand. And I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of your office. Of the Village of Piermont, according to the best of my abilities. Thank you. Anyone who was just sworn in, if you could please come up and sign the registration book that Jennifer has for each of those positions. In the meantime, I will proceed with general business. And our first order of general business is approval of minutes from December 9th. And in a slightly unique situation, only 3 of us here tonight actually were in the December 9th meeting. So I'll ask for a second for the approval of minutes.
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. Next, we have the approval of warrant. You have the warrant. Jen, you do have the warrant.
I move that we approve warrant number 010626 in the amount of $181,732.59.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, next we have department reports. Chief Early.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. of December, there was 114 summonses issued. We did participate in the high visibility DWI enforcement. That was over the Thanksgiving holiday as well as New Year's. For December, we had 438 incident reports completed, and for the year of 2025, we had a total of 5,375 calls for service or incident reports completed. For the month of December, out of the 438, 78 of those were in Grandview, and the remaining 360 were here in Piermont. That's all I have for the board tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Fire department.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of December, we did 23 fire calls and 21 EMS calls, totaling, for 2025, we did 216 fire calls and 217 EMS calls, totaling 433 calls for the total year.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Department of Public Works.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just run down some yearly totals for us. Department of Public Works. Our garbage collection, we did 712 tons of collected garbage. We did 63.46 tons of bulk. We did 42.67 tons of street sweepings and spoils. We recycled 62.49 tons of blacktop. We recycled 49.4 tons of brush. We recycled 11.42 tons of metal. Yard waste was 6.23 tons. Our village overall recycling for the normal recycling every Thursday was 219.26 tons. It's about average for the year. Christmas tree collection is we have 2 dates scheduled. One for tomorrow, January 7th, and then again on Wednesday, January 21st. That's Christmas trees. Put it out to the curb. Our loose leaf collection, actually for the year, we had a total of 113.61 tons. That's bagged and loose leaves. The only other thing I have tonight is we received the CHIPS reimbursement for the road resurfacing that was done in July, and that amounted to $126,008. That's it.
Thank you. Building department. Charlie, you here?
Good evening. Just 2 quick notes. I received a phone call from the attorney for the property across the street. He'd like to have a meeting with the mayor. I explained that to Dennis and the village attorney. So he'd like to go forward with something. He just doesn't know what the board and the mayor wants, so he'd like to have a sit-down meeting to push that forward. The second big news is all the properties on Ash Street, Elm and Oak were sold recently to a local person. The only thing that's still owned by the former people are the 2 blue houses on the corner, which they're trying to sell. But all the other properties have been sold to somebody locally. And he's been in contact with me about getting started up there and cleaning up all those properties. And the third one is the one on Franklin Street, because everyone always asks me. He keeps telling me they're gonna start. They pulled all the permits to start, which is very expensive. And I think every time he goes out and gets bids on stuff and talks to other contractors, he's realizing what the price is really gonna be. He had an illusion that he could do that whole project for $300,000, and it's impossible to restore that house for $300,000. He's got about $700,000 or $800,000 in materials on it. So, I don't know where he's gonna go yet.
Sure. Well, so while we have you though, there is another item that I'd like to discuss is the question of, regarding across the street, the status of the construction type fence that's been erected.
Okay.
So in the past, there have been questions about the code interpretation that would permit that fence to exist. And I just wanted to get you on the record about why is it that we cannot have that fence removed and the area restored to the access that was formerly available to the public.
Well, when it got into the lawsuit, I backed off a little bit, but the fence originally went up because there were accusations about there being oil and tanks in the ground there. So the applicants asked if they could do some digging there, and they did some core sampling there. So they put up the construction fence to keep everybody out of there while they did the work. And then everything went south, and it's been like that since then. He's got to restore the property. I've talked to him about it. He knows that. And that's pretty much where it sits, and I think that's why he wants to come in and have a meeting now with everybody.
Okay, can you please follow up with him about a timetable for getting the property restored to a safe condition so that that fence can be removed without any hazard to the public?
Okay, and then, can you lower the fence? Because that's one of the things you're gonna ask me. A 4.5-foot fence is legal there.
Well, so there are some questions about what type of fence is exactly permissible in that location, and that's something that Village Attorney Michaels is gonna be reviewing in the next few days, so hopefully we can just be in communication between the two of you and figure out what will be
Okay.
acceptable.
I'll talk to Charlie.
Right.
Thank you.
And then we'll talk to the applicant. Hopefully we all of us can sit down and talk and,
Yeah, we discussed, I'm
Yeah.
always amenable to speaking to adversaries, those on the other side of the table, to, you know, have blunt, frank conversations without jeopardizing the interests of my beloved client, the Village of Piermont, as always, is first and foremost.
right.
But yes, we should always keep communications open, see if there's resolutions to unpleasant matters.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Okay, next item of business is old business. Jennifer, do you have old business for us?
No, I have no rule.
We don't have old business. All right, moving on. New business. Do you have any new business?
I do. I just want to make the board aware, the tentative assessment roll will be out on February 1st. Our grievance hearing is the second meeting in February. So I'll be filing the notice in the newspaper about the roll, and I will forward it to the board once I do receive it from Brian Kenny.
Excellent.
The other thing, I did receive an email, which I did forward to the board and the village attorney today, from Ryan Market of Piermont Landing. He had sent an email with a letter regarding the ongoing concern over the intersection of Gare and Piermont Avenue. So I just want to make the board aware of that. I did forward that as well.
Yes.
That's all I have.
What about the permit for farmer's market?
Nobody gave me any information about a permit for the farmer's market.
Oh, Joe Sutter was supposed to contact you about obtaining permission to close down Flywheel Park West on some days.
Okay.
I saw an email come through, I thought you were on that email.
Okay.
But, okay, there's been a request, there's been a situation that has occurred in the last few weeks where the farmer's market that has traditionally been held in Flywheel Park and sometimes in the library parking lot during the wintertime when they're not allowed to be in M&T, was unable to use either of those spaces and made a request to shut down Flywheel Park West Sunday during the duration of the farmer's market. And it came to my attention recently that that had happened, and this is actually something that does require a permit from the village board and theoretically 15 days of notice in request for the permit in order to do a road closure. So I spoke with Joe, who operates Farmers Market, on Monday, and I asked him to send Jennifer all the information about what times it would need to be closed and what would be involved in that. I consulted with our village attorney regarding our chapter 141, which is the chapter that handles that type of road closure. And my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is that there is no legal way for us to waive the $250 permit fee. So my intention is to go back to Mr. Sarah and indicate to him if it is acceptable to the board to issue said permit, that we would be willing to allow him to do those road closures that he's requested for this upcoming Sunday and the following Sunday, if he is able to come in and file all the information with the clerk and pay the $250 application permit fee for each of those instances. So I'll make a motion that we issue the permit with those stipulations. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, any other new business?
No.
All right, so now we're on to public comment. We typically have a sign-in sheet in the back. Is anybody signed up for public comment? No, Jim? Chief Spade. Okay, Dennis Hart, 21 years.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to say congratulations to all of you and everyone who was appointed this evening. We are very fortunate in this village that you will take the time to do the hard work necessary to govern and shepherd our village. We're very fortunate, so thank you. And I'm also glad to hear that there is some movement on the 447, 477, and I think the most positive thing that can be done is to take the fence down. So I'm glad to see that there's some movement on that. Again, congratulations, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Dennis. Next we have Kevin Fahey, 590 Paramount.
Yes, good evening. I'll make this short and sweet. I just want to congratulate Nate, or maybe give him my condolences. I'm not 100% sure which way. Long time coming. I look forward to your leadership, as well as everybody on the board. And at this time, I'd like to present Nate with a souvenir program. It's the dedication of the original Village Hall, Saturday afternoon, June 9, 1938.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next item that we have, we're just a tad ahead of schedule here, is a 7:30 p.m. public hearing on a new entity disclosure law. So we reviewed this and discussed it a little bit at our December meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the entity disclosure law?
You did publish it for 7:30 PM, so
Kind of need to wait till September.
yeah, you could I would discuss it until 7:30. Sorry.
No, well, can we jump ahead and jump back?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's just go on to resolution to authorize the scheduling of a public hearing to consider a proposed amendment to Chapter 38 residency requirements of the Piermont Village Code. So what would be our next available date for this?
February 3rd is the date we were looking to do the public hearing.
Oh, you already have everything you need, right, Jen?
Yes,
I was
we
gonna say, normally I'd be drafting the local law, but I did it already, so I'm
You did
ahead of the
everything.
curve.
I got it all,
So
yeah.
you could do it, as
February
soon as,
3rd?
sounds good.
Say February 3rd, 7:30 p.m.
Yep, I submitted it to Rockland County GML because they told me that it was the best practice to submit every law that we change or pass. So I did do that, and that's why I put it out to February 3rd, so that we have time, they have the 30 days to review, which I don't believe it'll take that long, but just to be on the safe side, we can schedule it for, can we schedule it for February 3rd, I guess we should ask.
Yeah, as long as it's published in time, and in the newspaper and posted, in all places, at least, I think it's 10 days ahead for a
Yeah.
local law, at least 10 days ahead.
Okay, so I will make that motion. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Next is resolution to accept delegation to prosecute violations of the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law, the New York State Building and Fire Codes, and the New York State Agriculture and Markets Law, and the Piermont Village Code, known as the Van Sickle Letter, updated for 2026.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, just for the record, I did review the Van Sickle letter for 2026. It does reflect the village's understanding of what that delegation would entail, and it will entail only the non-criminal aspects of the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law, the non-criminal provisions of the New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law. Just want to clarify that on the record.
Excellent, thank you.
And that is reflected in the Van Sickle letter for 2026.
Yes.
And who'll be prosecuting those?
James Birnbaum, the Assistant Village Attorney.
So I'll make that motion to accept that delegation. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Still in September, okay.
I can talk more.
That's quite right. Resolution authorizing the mayor to update employee letters of understanding for the calendar year 2026. And someone would like to make that motion?
Make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I'm gonna put Kate down, she's
Yeah.
quiet down there.
Yeah, you can speak up.
That's because I'm far away from my mic.
Okay, so all in favor? Aye. And we still have 5 minutes, and that was the last item on the agenda. So Jake for a moment here. Yeah.
Mayor? asking for it to be on the 20th.
I thought he asked for 2 dates this month.
Yeah, he has here on the email, I guess 120, that's what he's putting out.
That's a Sunday?
No, January 20th is the next board meeting.
Oh,
No. Okay, so he had 2 different statements in the email. One statement was, I'd like to use this right now for the next 2 Sundays. And the second was, I would like to come to the January 20th meeting to review my special permit and provide all my documentation of insurance coverage for all the areas where this will be happening. And also request that use of shutting down Flywheel Park West could be done again next week.
I'm gonna officially put him on the January 20th agenda for that, right?
Yes, well, so what I would like to put on the January 20th agenda is review of all of the outstanding special permits that are intended to be reviewed on an annual basis,
Okay.
including all the fee in lieu of parking in excess of 9 spaces, and anything else that requires a special permit that needs to be looked at on an annual basis, which the farmer's market is one, but there may be others.
Okay,
So if we could just make that one agenda item of review of special permits, but he should be included in that.
yes, okay.
We get to, Charlie,
We swear that
is not done
he's not, and I'm not sure if he'll be the abide.
3 minutes, 3 minutes or so. You're too efficient.
I talked too quickly, what can I tell you?
Yes. I guess if anybody else was sworn in, if they want to come in, up and sign the book.
Excellent use of the time. Yeah, I think I saw a couple
Is there
people brilliant.
Okay, Dave? All right. Okay. What's your name?
Can I just swear and not sign anything? I will swear a lot.
You're in the commission.
I will swear a lot.
Nice hat.
No.
Yes, perfect, thank you very much.
So we should be called.
All right, it looks like it is now officially 7:30. So, I'd like to make a motion that we open the public hearing for the entity disclosure law. Do we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Would anyone like to speak regarding the entity disclosure law? Yes, it's nice to have your name and address.
If you're adopting that tonight, there's one nit that I would suggest that you fix. In the exceptions to the requirement, you talk about garages. However, it says a garage can solely be used for automobile storage. That is not how people solely use a garage, so you need to massage that language. Other than that, looks good. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm looking to see where that, this is paragraph D, I guess this is 210-6.2.2, paragraph D, Ira, where it says,
I don't
the
know.
disclosure statement is not required for any of the following activities: construction of a private garage not in excess of 500 square feet. Said building shall not be used for any other purpose other than the storage of automotive vehicles.
Interesting.
I-
Do you find that to be a
I
necessary?
didn't draft this, but it seems that I don't know if you were involved in conversations in the drafting, that maybe the thought was we'll exempt a garage that's 500 square feet or less, but it can only be used for storage for cars. You can't store anything else in there, maybe to kind of, as it were, preemptively address, sometimes garages are used for,
Workshops.
Charlie could speak to this probably better than I can, other than what garages are designed for, maybe an apartment or sleeping quarters, perhaps is what this is trying to address, that if it's gonna be a garage, we're gonna give you an exemption, 500 square feet or less, but it can only be used as a garage, which means the parking of automotive vehicles. But I see what Ira's saying, that, well, I mean, you can. Why couldn't, yeah, maybe that's primarily, would be a, I mean, you should be able to store, your kids'
Paint cans.
toys and hazardous, hazardous paint cans.
So would you
If it-
advise that we add that?
We could do it without having to continue the public hearing, as long as it's not a major change. And I would say that that's, like Ira, to use your word, a nit, use that. But we need to give Jennifer a specific language here. So we're looking at, again, that's 210-6.2.2, paragraph D is in Dennis, subparagraph 1. And the second sentence, which reads, quote, "Said building shall not be used for any other purpose other than the storage of automotive vehicles." I guess I think it's, well, let's ask Charlie, if you think this is understandable enough from an administrative enforcement, let us know, Charlie. If we throw in the word primarily the storage of automotive vehicles, would you be okay with that from an enforcement administrative understanding of what that means, or do we need to?
Well, accessory structures already says, can't have pipe hot water, can't have,
Right.
so it depends if it's attached to the house or not attached, how it's gonna be used. If
So
you have a
if-
garage that's attached to a house, sorry, people are putting gyms in them, they're putting stuff in them, it's a little different than if it's detached and it doesn't have any heat or any direct access to a bathroom with a house, so.
I thought it meant a standalone building.
Is it only
It doesn't
standalone?
say that. It says private garage, which I assume means not for rent, like a pay lot. That doesn't say detached here. So are you okay if we if we insert the word primarily, so the building shall not be used for any other purpose other than primarily for the storage of automotive vehicles?
Yeah, because if it's used by a resident, they could have bicycles, lawn, there could be a multitude of things in there.
Exactly.
Right. So,
I'm okay with it. Hey, listen, we can always amend this. If it turns out to be problematic, the word primarily, we'll fix it.
May I ask what automotive means? Because I would want to put my motorcycles in there. Would that include that?
I believe so.
I would defer to the building inspector, but if Charlie asked me, I would
Yeah, I would have-
find legally that automotive would include a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's got a license plate on it.
So, for Jennifer's sanity, this is what is being proposed now, I think by the mayor. So the second sentence in that subparagraph, D1, said building shall not be used for any other purpose than primarily the storage of automotive vehicles. So it looks like we only need to stick in primarily. So said building shall not be used for any other purpose than primarily the storage of automotive vehicles. End quote.
Excellent. Okay, do we have any other public comments?
Sorry for that.
It's okay. Can I get a motion to end the public hearing? Thank you. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. So now I assume we should have a motion to adopt this entity disclosure.
Deliberate over it, debate, beat each other up over it, and then somebody make a motion.
Anyone like to make that motion?
I will do that.
With the modification. With the modification.
And do I have a second?
One second.
All in favor? Aye. Passes. Okay, so we got through that very efficiently. And before we adjourn, I'd like to just take a moment to share a few words. It's an honor to address you all here tonight as mayor of our beloved Piermont. Today marks a new day for our community, one where government has been reconstituted in the public interest, in service of, and in solidarity with people of all walks of life who call this special place home. I'm gratified to share this table with my fellow members of the board, all of whom have my full faith in their character and commitment to contributing to a brighter future for Piermont. As I see it, last November's election was a mandate to discard a culture of concealment and decisions made behind closed doors and build an administration focused on transparency and public engagement in navigating the challenges that we face together. Our administration will endeavor to protect and improve our quality of life, public safety, and environment, both natural and built, and hold ourselves accountable to you, our constituents, our friends, and our neighbors. In Piermont, our government relies to a large degree on the generosity of volunteers who serve the village in various roles, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge those folks and encourage others to explore ways that they can be a part of keeping our community safe and prosperous. Without our all-volunteer fire and ambulance service, we would surely be lost, so this is my obligatory plug that we always need volunteers and stop by any Monday night. Many other crucial roles, including our land use boards, commissions, and committees, can be easier to overlook, but also serve important needs that I would like to recognize as well. In the coming weeks, we'll be seeking to reestablish an updated architectural review board, a transportation commission with a clearly defined role and purpose, and a comprehensive plan update committee. We will need folks with subject matter expertise to fill out these groups, so I encourage everyone to consider getting involved. And anyone who thinks that they could contribute in a positive way to those efforts, please feel free to contact me at either mayor@piermont-ny.gov or nmitchell@piermont-ny.gov. Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn? How about a second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Have a great
I want to wait for them to come out from behind.